So hi again. So this is our last topic for this week. The third topic, interlinking relationships of factors affecting health. So these are the factors that affect health and illness: the physical dimension, mental or psychological dimension, spiritual, and so on. Okay, on physical dimensions, we are referring to physiological. Okay. It involves genetic makeup, age, developmental level, race, and sex are all part of an individual's physical dimension and strongly influence health status and health practices. So an example here is the toddler. Okay, just learning to walk is of course prone to fail and injure himself. So that's part of the physical. So kulang pa siya kasi toddler. Nag-start pa lang siyang lumakad. So, prone talaga siyang bumagsak. Prone siyang masaktan. So, you have to consider that. And another example is a young woman who has a family history of breast cancer and diabetes. And therefore, she is at a higher risk to develop these conditions later on. So, that's part of your genetic makeup or genetically, diba? Yung sinabi naman natin dito, toddler, ito yung referring to the age of the patient. So those are examples, and there are more, a lot of examples. And on emotional or psychological dimensions, this refers to how the mind and the body interact, diba? Yung mind and your body interact to affect body function and to respond to a body conditions also influences the health. So, long-term stress affects the body systems and anxiety affects the health habits. Diba pag long-term, palagi kang nai-stress. So, later on, meron niyang effect doon sa iyong body. Later on, pwede kang mag-develop ng hypertension. Actually, may mga studies pa that stress is related to cancer. So, later on, pwede magkaroon ng ganun pag long-term. Okay? Conversely, calm acceptance and relaxation can actually change body response to illness. So if you calm yourself, you relax yourself, you're also relaxing your body, your organs, your system. So it is very important. Okay? So kasi kapag na-stress ka, physically, hindi mo lang nakikita. Parang hinahatak mo yan, nagkakaroon ng pressure. So, nahatak, nasasaktan yung mga bodily organs mo. Okay? So, emotional or psychological dimension involves awareness and acceptance of a wide range of feelings in oneself and others. So, you have to accept. You have to accept yourself kung nagkamali ka. You have to accept others na hindi sila perfect. The ability to express emotions, to function independently, and to cope with the challenges of daily stressors. So that is very important. So examples here, di ba, usually prior to examination. So of course, naranasan ko rin to. Prior to examination, parang meron kang mga nararamdaman. So example nito, yung lagi siyang nagkakaroon ng diarrhea. Student, pag mag-exam na. So that is the result of the stress or anxiety. So another one, extremely nervous about a surgery. A man experiences severe pain following his operation. Okay, imbes na hindi naman ganun dapat yung pain. Usually, relaxation techniques, a young woman reduces her pain during the delivery of her baby. So, relaxation techniques. Not only that, not only in the during delivery, even those who undergo surgery, merong mga certain studies, the music therapy, while the patient after the or post-op surgery, patutugtugan mo ng relaxation music yung patient. There are certain studies that says that music therapy lessens the pain of the post-operative client. Okay, when you say post-operative client, those who recently undergo surgery, so after the surgery. Okay, and another factor here is the mental and intellectual dimension. So the intellectual dimension encompasses the cognitive abilities, educational background, and past experiences. Okay? This influence the client's responses to teaching about health and reactions to healthcare during illness. So kasi yung kanyang ability, yung kanyang understanding about the situation, yung kanyang educational background, na pag-aralan niya ba o baka itong patient is also a medical practitioner, ano yung past experience niya about a certain disease. Okay? They also play a major role in health behaviors. So being open to new ideas and ability of one to question and evaluate information. So this is part of your mental. An individual with good intellectual health skills will be able to make decisions, set realistic yet challenging goals, and figure out how to handle a problem. So kapag maganda ang kanyang cognitive skills, naiintindihan niya yung process, naiintindihan niya that these are the steps na dapat i-follow niya for him or her to recover fast. Example here, an elderly woman who has a 3rd grade education, who needs teaching about a complicated diagnostic test. Okay? Another one, a young college student with diabetes who follows a diabetic diet but continues to drink beer and eat pizza with friends several times a week. So, yung very poor pa ang kanyang understanding about her situation kasi very young siya. Baka kulang pa ang kanyang teaching, kulang pa ang kanyang knowledge, educational, ang kanyang experience, okay? Ang kanyang cognitive about a certain condition, about diabetic. Kaya, nakita mo yung practice niya, yun pa rin ang kanyang practice. Another factor, the environmental dimension. The environment has many influences on health and illness. So we know that. The type of housing that you are living, the sanitation, if it's dirty, the climate, is it cold or very hot, and pollution of the air if you're living nearby factories, yung smoke, yan. Or you are living along the highway kung saan maraming dumadaan na sasakyan, very polluted yung air. The food and the water are aspects of environmental dimensions. Example, increased incidence of asthma and respiratory problems in large cities with smog, diba? So, syempre, marami talaga ang asthmatic, marami talaga respiratory problems. As I mentioned kanina, if you're living in the city, kung saan napakaraming tao, kung saan yung air ay polluted na, napakaraming sasakyan. Okay. So, possible talagang marami ang case ng asthma and respiratory problem in that specific area. And another factor here is the socio-cultural dimension. So, health practices and beliefs are strongly influenced by a person's economic level, lifestyle, family, and culture. Low-income groups are less likely to seek healthcare to prevent or treat illness. So, syempre, wala silang pambayad. So, hindi talaga, pinapabayaan lang nila yung sarili nila. Hindi talaga sila nagpapa-check up kasi diba, check up pa lang ang mahal ng check up. Tapos, bibili ka ng gamot, wala kang ibibili ng gamot. Okay? But, of course, meron naman tayong mga health centers. So, dapat lang, educate din natin sila. So, high-income groups are more prone to stress-related habits and illness. So, kita nyo na, hindi porket mayaman yung isang tao, wala siyang stress. So, the more na malaki ang income niya, ibig sabihin, nagdo-double time siya. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki din ang stress niya, mas marami ang stressors niya. Okay? The family and culture to which the persons belong determine the patterns of living and values about health and illness that are often unalterable. Example, an adolescent who sees nothing wrong with smoking or drinking because his parents smoke and drinks. So, doon siya nag-grow. So, nag-i-smoke ang kanyang parents, nagdi-drinks ang kanyang parents, or nagdi-drugs ang kanyang parents. So, hindi niya malaman that is wrong, di ba? So, hindi niya malaman that yun na yung ginagawa na yun may have bad impact to his or her health. Or, another example is a person of Asian descent who uses herbal remedies and acupuncture to treat an illness. So, marami tayo, or yung those who are living in rural areas or provinces na may mga quack doctors pa rin, doon pa rin sila nagko-consult. So, socio-cultural dimensions is really, meron siyang impact talaga doon sa health and illness of a person. So, actually, this is just a continuation of the last previous slides. Nabasa na natin itong first paragraph, so we have to read the second paragraph. So, socio-cultural dimension implies living in harmony with fellow human beings, developing positive independent relationships with others, and practicing healthy sexual behaviors. And meron pang sexual dimension. So, it refers to acceptance and ability to achieve satisfactory expressions of one's sexuality. So, you have to give respect to those people kung ano yung feeling nila about their sexuality. Ano yung nararamdaman nila about ano yung feelings nila towards a person. Ano ba yung, ano nararamdaman niya for male or female, kung ano siya. So, you have to give respect to that. And another one, or another dimension, I think this is the last dimension in this slide. So, the spiritual dimension. Okay. So, it talks about spiritual and religious beliefs, which are very important components of the way the person behaves in health and illness. So, people with good spiritual health identify their own basic purpose in life. They learn how to experience love, joy, peace, and fulfillment, and help themselves and others achieve their full potentials. So, ano ba yung spiritual dimensions? Ano yung mga practices nila? So, alamin natin kasi iba-iba tayo, iba-iba ng culture. So, iba-iba ang ating mga beliefs about dimensions. So, examples here, in the Roman Catholic, it requires baptism for both live births and stillborn babies. So, kahit ano yan, so, binabaptize yan. So, Jehovah's Witness and Iglesia ni Cristo are opposed to blood transfusion. So, pag may kailangan na talaga ng blood, ayaw nila yon. So, you have to give respect to that. The Buddhist practice on deaths. So, kakamatay lang ng relatives ng isang patient. Usually yan, they want the body of the deceased person should not be touched, disturbed, or moved in any way. So, I think about 8 hours or more. They believe that the soul doesn't leave the body immediately after breathing stops. So, kapag nawala na siya ng hininga, hindi mo pwedeng ligpitin yan, di ba? Sa ospital, pag wala na, talagang declare na dead na yung patient, ito na, liligpitin na, lilinisin na si patient. But if your patient is a Buddhist, you have to check muna kung ano yung practice nila. Kasi usually yan, hindi yan gagalawin. Diyan muna yan, kakantahan nila, magpe-pray sila. Yung iba, iintayin nila until na yung body ay hindi na siya warm to touch, cold to touch na. So, ibig sabihin, patay na talaga at wala na yung soul. Yan. So, that actually ends our 3 topics for this week. So, I'm hoping that all of you learned a lot in your TFN. So, please do not forget what you've learned in this subject, because this is very important and this is very applicable in your practice in the future. This will guide you in your practice. Please remember those theories, those principles that you've learned, those meta paradigm of nursing, kung ano yung mga how to apply it in the area. So this will guide you, my students. So do not forget your theories. Hindi lang to in your practice, all throughout your life. Okay? Pwede nyo i-apply ang mga theory na to and how you care for your client. So galingan natin. I'm hoping to see you in the future as nurses. Okay? So, sabi nga nila, God will meet all your needs. But you have to do your best. You have to work for your dreams. Okay? Yung dreams na yan, hindi yan maging reality if you will not work on it. Okay? So, God bless everyone. See you. Galingan ng exams. Mag-aral lang mabuti. Aralin lahat ng theories. Know the difference of each. And, ilagay sa brain, ilagay sa heart para later on, mai-apply nyo in the future. So, God bless you again. Thank you so much for watching.